So just in central Amsterdam. So I am just on the way to the hostel I'm staying at the moment, and I am on the NDSM, which is the free ferry just as you get off of Amsterdam Central. If you're going by train, maybe from the airport, basically just turn right out of the Amsterdam Central and you'll find yourself at the NDSM ferry, and then you get a wonderful trip down the Rhine and straight down the Rhine to wherever you need to go down here. But it's a wonderful trip. If you were just taking the trip just to see the city in a different way, it's a wonderful thing to do anyway. Luckily for me, where I'm staying is literally right at the end of the line. And here we're just coming up to where I am staying for the next few nights. The aptly named Hotel Botel, just on the Rhine, so I have these kind of views as normal for me. So I have just got into the Botel, and it looks relatively kind of sparse in here for the room, but actually the rest of the hotel is really nice. There's a really nice bar upstairs, far better presented than I was kind of expecting for a boat hotel, if I'm honest. And then there's on top of the boat as well, so you've got good views, having a few drinks. The bar is open till midnight and everything, so it looks really nice here actually. So I've got a lot to discover just within the hotel itself. So yeah, I've got a bed and that's all I really need. So yeah, so far so good. And we've got the rest of the city obviously to discover. And there is it's interesting, I've got a slight sway here I can feel already. I've never stayed in something like this before, so we'll see how it goes, but I'm definitely looking forward to checking it out. There's already things on the group on Hostelworld, which is what I use a lot. Not always. I use Airbnb and normal hotels sometimes, but Hostelworld's always a good way to meet people from different countries as well when you're traveling. And I think potentially people are meeting up to grab a drink or a bite to eat later, so we'll see how that goes as well. So just here in a bar in Amsterdam, with some just random music in the background, just here with a load of guys from the group chats on Hostelworld. And yeah, this is a lot of fun. This is called Bulldog, so definitely pop along here. The alcohol is a bit expensive, but it's a very good night. It's a lot of fun. I definitely recommend it. So I am just walking back now to the free ferry so that I can get back over to my hostel. It's still a good night even on a Sunday, because I'm here on a Sunday, and even then it's a good night. Obviously I was out with the guys that I found through Hostel app, like the Hostelworld. I would always suggest something like that, or you know, a local chat room or something. Find people that are travelling as well, so you can have a nice night out, so you're not just by yourself. But still a good night on a Sunday, and yeah, this is a city that you can have a bit of fun. Just remember, this is not a full representation of the Netherlands. This is more a representation of what the world thinks the Netherlands is. So you simply can't avoid this in the Netherlands. You will see it everywhere, the weed, the magic mushrooms. However, as I say, this is not all that Amsterdam has to offer. It may be the thing that a lot of people come for, a lot of tourists come for, but honestly, a lot of the locals don't want that, and all you're going to do is often make a fool of yourself. There's so much more to do, and hey, if you're going to indulge in stuff that is completely legal here, I'm not saying not to, of course, but there's so much more to do. Don't just come here and go wild. Although Amsterdam obviously has a reputation for a few other things, you cannot by any means avoid the views here, and most specifically things like the Canal. You'll find canals all over Netherlands, here in Utrecht, and they are beautiful, lovely to take tours on. I will be doing a tour later on myself, and you just can't come to Amsterdam and not do the tours, to not check out the canals. It's definitely on the to-do list when you're here. There's many things that people come for, but few of them are things you really should be doing. As you can see, these canals are absolutely gorgeous, and the views here are immense. So if anyone remembers the days of lockdown where there were the duck wars on TikTok, I think I just found how to win here in Amsterdam. You just come here, especially with that art piece in the middle, and you raise your army. Very quick army there. I think the days of any war would be very quickly over here with the Dutch. But yeah, there's all sorts of shops, random things like this, and souvenirs you can get in Amsterdam. But it isn't all that. There is obviously a lot more to this city, as hopefully we're going to explore. Well, walking down, it seems that maybe there's some kind of duck war happening just here in Amsterdam, because there's another army there. So just out again in the Netherlands, over in Amsterdam, and we've found a nice place here. We've actually got quite cheap drinks with these guys, found on Hostel World again. So more people, as I say, the Hostel World, any of those would be absolutely helpful, especially if you're a solo traveller, because you can meet with people, so you feel a bit better in a new town if you're not used to it. So we're going to enjoy the rest of the night, but I definitely give this place a go. So just in central Amsterdam, and as you can see, this is a popular spot. We're really very central. It's got one of the royal palaces behind me. So that's one of the palaces that's been given to the royal family to use by Parliament, and it's quite a popular one as well. The man of two swords in the background, and this is kind of central hub for a lot of people that try and find different things. We do have interesting elements that happen here as well. We have just over in the background, we have the Grim Reaper taking pictures with people. So you do have a lot of interesting stuff going on. It is not just, as I've said before, the normal stuff that people expect when you come to Amsterdam, because that's what's thrown about in the papers everywhere. There's a lot more to this city. Further out from the centre of Amsterdam, you'll get a far more normal Dutch feeling. Like the streets are far easier to guide yourself around. A lot of people, if you've been to Amsterdam before, will know it can be very disorientating in the centre. You can walk down one street, think you're in one part, and you're in a completely different area. However, they're a lot more efficient and more Dutch when you come out from the centre. And when you come out from the centre as well, you start to see what this city is also known for in terms of wartime and everything like that. Things like this, which is the Anne Frank house. So obviously the story of Anne Frank is one that many people know. She was avoiding the Nazis and writing a daily diary and things like that. So this is the home of Anne Frank that's been made into a visitor centre, and definitely something to give a visit when you're here in Amsterdam. Obviously there's loads of different things to do. I always think you should do a little bit of everything, get an idea of everything that's happening in the city and in the country to give you a proper trip, rather than just coming here on some kind of boozy weekend, which unfortunately is what a lot of people do. The canals, for instance, are wonderful things to enjoy on trips, the Anne Frank house, as well as a lot of other things that are going on as well. As I've said, one of the best things about Amsterdam, and actually the Netherlands in general, are the canals. You find really nice ones as well, not only just in Amsterdam but in Utrecht as well. One of the better things in Amsterdam to do, as you can see behind me, are the boat tours. Now they're relatively inexpensive. They're only about £12 for an hour tour, which isn't bad at all in a city that is pretty expensive in general. So I'm definitely going to be giving this a go, going up and down the canal and enjoying my time. So as you can see, this is an amazing way to enjoy the city. We've got the canals running all the way along. It's really the history of Amsterdam is the history of its canals, and we're just going around them now. There are so many different types of tours we can take as well. Take them where they're effectively drinking tours, we can
headphones. Take bigger ones like I'm on now, and come with headphones and kind of tour as you go through. There are so many things you can take. It's a wonderful way to enjoy the city. Usually about an hour long, and definitely worth it.